Hello everyone, and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Liam's fingers gripped into Luna's wrist like iron clamps, jerking her backward so forcefully that her heels slipped across the polished marble of the Forrester home entryway. The crystal chandelier above them swayed, casting shattered light on her astonished face. "Dad, I caught her." The words sprang out of him, raw and triumphant, booming off the vaulted ceiling and down the long corridor lined with paintings of Forrester ancestors staring silently in judgment. Bill Spencer stood transfixed at the bottom of the great staircase, phone already put to his ear and thumb poised over the emergency call button. His usually perfect suit jacket hung open, the tie skewed from the hectic drive over. "Luna?" The name came out choked, disbelief clashing with the proof writhing in his son's grasp. "What the hell is this?" Luna's fancy clutch clattered to the floor, spilling lipstick, a flash drive, and a folded stack of documents embossed with Spencer Publications letterhead. The papers floated like white flags of surrender. Liam kicked the clutch aside, and the flash drive skittered beneath an old credenza. "Tell him," he growled, pushing her arm higher behind her back. "Tell my father what you've been doing every night in his office after he leaves for the yacht." Her breath was raspy. The sleek black dress she'd worn to the Spencer charity dinner clung to her like a second skin, saturated with nervous sweat. "Liam, you're hurting me. Good." He pushed her forward, slamming her hip on the ornate newel post. "Start talking or I'll break things. Starting with your lies." Bill's call was answered. "This is Bill Spencer. I need officers at the Forrester estate on Bella Drive. Now. Possible corporate espionage." His voice was firm, but his eyes, those piercing Spencer eyes, never left Luna's face. "Also send someone from the cybercrime unit. We have a thief in designer heels." The connection went dead. Sirens were already wailing in the distance, becoming louder with each heartbeat. Luna's knees buckled, and only Liam's grip kept her standing. "Bill, please. It's not what you think." "Oh, it's precisely what I think." Liam let go of her wrist, only to clutch the back of her neck, marching her to the study like a captive. "Dad, have the safe opened. She has the override code. She's had it for weeks." Liam kicked open the study doors, which were solid walnut carved with the Forrester crest. Inside, moonlight filtered through half-closed blinds, illuminating the wreckage Luna had left behind. Drawers pulled open, paperwork thrown like confetti, and the wall safe gaping behind a tilted oil painting of Steffi and Finn's wedding portrait. After too many fruitless tries, the safe's digital keypad glowed red and was locked. Bill marched to the safe and entered his master combination. The mechanism clicked, and the door slid open to expose orderly stacks of contracts, a velvet packet of diamonds intended for Katie's anniversary reset, and, most damning, an empty slot where the prototype drawings for Spencer's new streaming platform should have gone. Liam pushed Luna into a leather wingback chair. "Sit." He loomed over her, chest heaving. "Luna, those designs were in my blood. 18-hour days, NDAs thicker than phone books, with investors breathing down my neck. And you," his voice broke. "I entrusted you with my passwords." Luna's manicured fingers grabbed at the armrests of her bed. "It wasn't about the money." Her voice wavered, but her chin rose in that rebellious manner that had previously captivated him at Il Giardino. "You've never listened, Liam. You were always in the workplace, on calls with your father, and always chose Spencer over us. So you took from us?" Bill laughed bitterly. He took a flash drive from his pocket, which was identical to the one that had been lost beneath the credenza, and held it up. "This is the decoy you placed. Cute. But I've been monitoring the server logs. Every night about 2:17 a.m., someone downloads gigabytes to an offshore account. Guess whose credentials were used?" Luna's lips parted, but no sound emerged. Outside, red and blue lights illuminated the windows as two patrol cars sped up the circular driveway. Gravel crunched beneath boots. A fist smashed at the entrance door. "LAP. Open up." Bill moved to let them in, but Liam blocked Luna's way to the door. You aren't running. Not this time. He got close enough to smell her perfume, jasmine and betrayal. Remember Paris? You claimed you loved me beneath the Eiffel Tower. Was that also part of the con? Tears stained her mascara, yet her eyes shone brightly. Do you want the truth? Fine. Your valuable designs? They're already on their way to Quinn Fuller's server in Wyoming. She plans to create a competitive platform next quarter. Liam smashed his fist on the desk, shattering a crystal decanter and spilling alcohol across legal files. Quinn, have you teamed up with that psycho? She pays better than loyalty. Luna smiled little and sharply. And she doesn't leave me waiting in empty lofts while he flies to Aspen with his ex. Bill returned with 2 officers, Detective Sanchez, grizzled and unimpressed, and Officer Chin, who had already taken images of the safe. Ma'am, please place your hands where I can see them. Sanchez approached, his cuffs glinting. You have the right to remain silent. Wait. Bill raised his hand. I want her to finish. Every detail. On record. Luna's laughter was hollow. Do you think this will end with me in handcuffs? Quinn has insurance. One false move, and every Spencer secret, offshore accounts, the true reason Will's trust fund is empty, the affair with Brooke last year, goes viral. Liam's face was depleted of color. You're bluffing. Am I? She tilted her head. Check your phone. Despite his better judgment, Liam took it out. A fresh email. Subject: Insurance policy. Attachment: a PDF of Bill's falsified signature on a document transferring Spencer Publications stock to a Cayman Islands shell firm. Dated yesterday. Bill grabbed the phone, scrolled, and muttered beneath his breath. Luna, how deep does this go? Deep enough. Her voice was steady. Let me stroll, and the files will stay buried. Arrest me, and by morning, the hashtag Spencer scandal will be trending globally. Sanchez looked at Bill. Your board will gut you both. Mr. Spencer? Your call. The entire crowd hung their breath. Outside, more sirens, media vans, no doubt alerted by Quinn's mole. Camera flashes hit the windows like gunfire. Liam's hands shook. Dad. Bill's jaw moved. He examined the safe, the spilled bourbon, and the lady who had almost ruined them. Then he nodded once. Cuff her. You'll regret this, Luna said as the metal wrapped around her wrists. Already do, Bill responded quietly. But not for this. They marched her past the entryway, where Ridge Forrester stood in silk pajamas, hair unkempt and eyes open. Bill? Liam? What in God's name? Later, Ridge, Bill said without pausing. Family meeting at dawn. The officers loaded Luna into the back of a cruiser. She did not strive. Just peered at Liam through the window, mouth moving. You chose wrong. Liam watched the taillights leave down the driveway before turning to his father. Quinn's next. Bill poured 2 fingers of scotch from a new bottle and gave one over. Damn right. But first, we need to find that flash drive. And we burn every bridge Luna has ever crossed. A door creaked upstairs. Poppy Nozawa emerged on the landing wearing a robe, her face pallid. Luna? What did you do? Liam met her gaze. You should have done it years ago, Poppy. Poppy's palm flew to her lips as another cruiser drew away, dragging her daughter into the darkness. The mansion fell into an unsettling silence, but the conflict had only begun. By daylight, the flash drive would have been retrieved. Quinn's server had been tracked down to a lodge in Jackson Hole, and the Spencer men would be riding out, not as victims, but as hunters. However, when Liam stood alone in the study, the fragrance of jasmine remained like a ghost. He crushed the empty glass in his fist, leaving blood and bourbon on the Persian rug. Love was a liability. Trust was a luxury he could not afford. A helicopter pounded overhead in the distance, but it was impossible to tell whether it was the paparazzi or Quinn's extraction squad. Liam straightened his shoulders. Let them arrive. The Spencers had survived worse. But when he knelt down to get the flash drive from beneath the credenza, his phone chimed again. Unknown number. A single message. Tell Bill the diamonds are fake. The genuine ones are with me. Q. Liam's yell broke the silence. The game was not over. It had just began. The bold and the beautiful would never be the same. The metallic tang of an impending storm hung in the night air as Liam burst out the French doors onto the terrace. The pool lights below sparkled like dropped sapphires. He dialed Wyatt. "Bro, go to the mansion. Bring the drone. Quinn has the actual diamonds, and I bet my life she has a buyer lined up for tonight." Wyatt's voice crackled through the speaker. "I'm on my way. You okay?"
No.
Liam laughed bitterly. "But I will be when Quinn is in a cell next to Luna." He hung up and looked across the hills. Somewhere out there, Quinn Fuller was laughing, counting carrots, and planning her next move. But she had forgotten one thing. The Spencers did not lose. They evolved. Bill joined him, his coat billowing in the wind. "Cyber is tracing the email. IP is bouncing via Tor, but they'll break it." He placed a hand on Liam's shoulder. "You did well, son." Almost too late. Liam's eyes tightened at a flash of movement near the guest house, a shadow sneaking between topiaries.
Dad.
"We've got company." They moved as one. Years of boardroom disputes smoothly transferred to the hunt. Down the stone steps, over the dew-soaked yard. The shadow transformed into a person in black tactical gear, hood up and bag slung over one shoulder. "Freeze." Bill's command ended the night. The figure bolted. Liam sprinted, legs pumping, closing the distance. He charged, knocking the invader into the hedge. Thorns ripped into his sleeves as they rolled. A feminine grunt is familiar. The hood slipped back. Sheila Carter looked at him with wild eyes and bared teeth. "Get off me, you little." Liam placed his forearm on her throat. "Sheila? Seriously?" Bill arrived, breathing heavily. "What the hell are you doing on the Forrester property?" Sheila's laugh was maniacal. "Collecting what is mine. Quinn promised me a percentage if I delivered the decoy gems to her San Diego buyer." She spat grass. "Looks like we all got played," Liam said, easing off but keeping her pinned. "Where is Quinn?" "Gone. A private jet flew out of Van Nuys 40 minutes ago. You're too late, pretty guy." Bill grabbed Sheila's collar. "Not if we got you. Start talking, or I'll let Liam finish what he started." Sirens wailed again, this time from the FBI. Apparently, interstate jewelry theft overcame local police. Agents flooded the grass, and floodlights turned night into day. Sheila was handcuffed and read her rights for the third time in 2 years. As they dragged her away, she called over her shoulder. "Telfin, his mother says hello." Liam ignored her, already on the phone with the control tower in Van Nuys. "Quinn Fuller's tail number is N770, 1QF. Ground that plane." Too late. The jet was wheels up, rising into the storm clouds rolling in off the Pacific. But Liam had the flight plan, Jackson Hole, as Luna had stated. He turned to face Bill. "Charter is speedier. We go in 20. Bill had already dialed. "I will wake the pilot." And Liam, his voice softened slightly. "Your mother would be proud." "Don't." Liam's jaw hardened. "Not tonight." They returned to the mansion, where Wyatt waited with the drone case in hand. "I heard everything. The drone has thermal capabilities. We'll look for Quinn's heat signature in the air if she's still on the ground in Wyoming." Ridge approached them in the foyer, now dressed in a charcoal suit. "My jet is fueled. Family sticks together, even if it's the Spencers." He handed Liam the Range Rover keys. "The guest house has a helipad. Go." The 3 men climbed in, tires spewing gravel as they raced down the driveway. The lights in the mansion behind them winked out one by one, as if the house itself was holding its breath. Quinn sipped champagne from the leather seat of her Gulfstream, diamonds sparkling in a velvet sack on the table. Her phone buzzed with an encrypted text from an unknown number. "Package intercepted. Carter is in custody. The Spencers are on their way." Quinn smiled slowly and pleasantly. "Let them come." She turned off her phone and hurled it out the window into the nothingness. Lightning struck the sky at 30,000 feet below. The game was far from finished. In the Range Rover, Liam held the wheel with white knuckles. Luna's treachery remained burning, but Quinn's hubris ignited a colder fire. He cast a glimpse at Bill in the rearview mirror. There will be no cops when we land. This ends Spencer style. Bill's grin was wolfish. Wyatt chambered the drone's batteries. Thought you'd never ask. Thermal is heated. If she has a pulse, we'll find her. As they reached the slope, the chopper blades thundered overhead. The helipad lights below flashed like beacons. Liam floored it, and the rover fishtailed onto the pad. The pilot waved them aboard. As they took off, Los Angeles sprawled out beneath them, a dazzling labyrinth of secrets and deceit. Liam glanced down at the city that had grown him, destroyed him, and now demanded he take what was rightfully his. Quinn believed she'd won. She was wrong. The quest was on. Hours later, the jet landed on a private runway built into the Wyoming wilderness. The pines were powdered with snow, and the air had a vengeance-like aroma. A black Suburban waited, the engine idling. The driver, a grizzled ex-Marine Bill who was maintained on retainer, nodded once. Cabin is 12 miles north. Heat signatures indicate 3 heated bodies. There's someone in the loft, probably Quinn. The other 2 are armed. Liam examined the Glock Bill had handed him. Bill racked his own slide. No killing shots unless absolutely necessary. Define necessary. They got in, the Suburban swerving up the ice access road. Wyatt's drone flew overhead, with the feed flowing to their phones. The cabin became visible, log walls, smoke rising from the chimney, and Quinn's jet parked on a makeshift airstrip beyond. "Drop us here," Bill instructed. The driver turned off the lights. They walked on foot, their boots crunching in the snow, and their breath fogging the air. Inside the cabin, Quinn stood in front of a raging fire, diamonds scattered around a poker table like pirate treasure. Her buyer, a savvy computer billionaire from Silicon Valley, counted heaps of cash. 2 goons flanked the door with AR-15s slung low. Quinn lifted a stone into the light. 10 million in cash. "It's a pleasure to do business," the mogul said, sliding the bag forward. "Always a pleasure, Miss Fuller." That was the moment the window exploded inward. Liam's silhouette filled the picture, with his rifle elevated. Hands up. The party is over. Chaos broke out. The assailants brandished weapons. Bill dispatched one with a shoulder shot. Wyatt's drone dive-bombed the other, tangles in his hair allowing Liam to disarm him with a brutal elbow. Quinn went for the jewels, but Liam moved faster. He swept them into the pouch and kicked the briefcase closed. "Are you looking for these?" Her laughter was exhilarating. "You are persistent. I'll give you that." Bill zip-tied the mogul. "The FBI is 2 minutes out. Start chatting, Quinn. Where is the server with my designs?" Quinn's gaze shifted to the hearth. Behind the flames, a metal box shone crimson. "Oops. Looks like your evidence has turned to ash." Liam's smile was sad. "Wyatt, I've already cloned it," Wyatt said from the loft, bringing up a hard disk. "Every file. Every email." Luna also made a confession. "You're done, Quinn." Sirens sounded up the mountain. Quinn's composure snapped. "You can't prove. Watch us." Bill dragged her to the door as agents rushed in. Outside, snow fell thicker, covering the turmoil. Liam stood over Quinn as the cuffs clicked shut. "This is for Luna. And for everyone you've ever used." Quinn spat blood. "She will be out in 5 years. And she'll come for you." "Let her try," Liam said coldly. "I'll be waiting." The agents loaded Quinn into the van. The diamonds, genuine ones, were cataloged and packaged. The designs were safe. The Spencers had triumphed. But as the helicopter lifted off to take them back to Los Angeles, Liam peered out at the unending white. Victory tasted like ashes. Luna's face plagued him, her tears, her wrath, the love he had believed was genuine. Bill clapped his shoulders. "Are you okay, son?" "No," Liam said, his voice steady. "But I will be." Below, the cottage burnt, destroying evidence, but serving justice. The bold and the beautiful world spun on, damaged yet unbroken. In a holding cell, Luna glanced at the ceiling, planning her next move. The game never ended. It merely altered the players. Dawn broke over Los Angeles, illuminating the Forrester estate with pink and gold. Liam stood on the terrace, coffee cooling in his palm. The real flash drive was in his pocket, and the data had already been uploaded to a safe cloud. Quinn's empire was disintegrating, and Luna's trial date was set. The diamonds would help to establish a new Spencer juvenile organization called Redemption in Carrots. However, the hollow spot in his chest remained. He thought that love was an unaffordable liability. Not again. His phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number reads, "You won the battle. However, the war has only just begun." Liam deleted it and turned off the phone. Let her come. He was ready. The family gathered inside, with Ridge pouring mimosas, Brooke worrying over bandages, and Steffi grinning with glee. The Spencers and Forresters are united in victory. Bill raised his glass. To loyalty. Liam clinked his cup, but his gaze was fixed on the horizon. To survival. The storm was past. However, in their universe, another was always brewing. And Liam Spencer, scarred, wiser, and unbreakable, would be ready when it struck. The mansion's big clock struck 8. Another day in the never-ending cycle of power, passion, and payback. The bold and the beautiful never slept. Neither would he. The weeks that followed were a lesson in organized anarchy. Quinn's arrest generated international headlines, jewelry theft, business espionage, and a rogues gallery of collaborators. The courthouse was packed for Luna's preliminary hearing. Poppy wept in the gallery as her daughter pleaded not guilty, her gaze fixed on Liam with a mix of fury and something softer, more difficult to describe. Liam did not attend. He had job to do. Spencer Publications launched the streaming platform 6 weeks early, with the designs intact and security triple encrypted. Investors clamored. The stock skyrocketed. Bill hosted a party aboard the yacht, but Liam chose to forego it. Instead, he stood in the empty apartment he'd previously occupied with Luna, boxing her belongings, a silk scarf, a half-read novel, and the Eiffel Tower snow globe from Paris. He crushed the globe on the wall. Glitter and water flowed on the hardwood, like tears. Wyatt discovered him there at midnight. "You gotta let it go, man." "Can't." Liam's voice was harsh. "Every time I close my eyes, I see her smiling. The one who lied." Wyatt offered him a beer. "Then, open your eyes. Hope has been asking about you." Liam snorted. "Hope deserves better than a guy who gets played by interns." "Maybe." Wyatt responded with a shrug. "Or maybe she deserves a guy who learned from it." Liam did not respond. But the following morning, he arrived at Hope for the future with coffee and a timid smile. Hope's eyes softened. "I heard you took down Quinn. My hero." "Don't," he advised. "Heroes are not betrayed." Hope touched his cheek. "Then let me be the villain who stays." It wasn't love. Not yet. But that was a start.